I'm the Frugal Gardener, and today, well, you know what? I'm going to skip the intro today. I'm going to go right into this video. Two reasons. One, because it's been raining since last night. It's been raining off and on today. And two, because I'm very excited. This is a very special episode. This is something I've been working on for a while, and I'm anxious to get to it and show this to you guys. So I'm going to just jump right into it. We have been having issues with groceries, and people have been messaging me and putting comments on my Facebook and other places of how they can try and supplement their income in order to grow more food. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to replicate what I did last year, and I'm going to plant in a bucket. Yes, in a bucket, because a lot of people have told me they don't have gardens. So, okay, if you have a garden, that's great. But this is even better because this is something that you can move around. You're going to need a minimum of 6 hours of sunlight a day, direct sunlight, 6 to 8. 8 is better. Even if you can get 9, 10, that's even better. It's starting to drizzle. So I may have to pick this up after the rain stops. But here's the deal. This does not require a lot of instruction. It does not require a lot of work. It doesn't even require a lot of money. And the one thing it does require is that you guys follow instructions. You cannot cut corners. You cannot substitute. So this is something that you'll have to go step by step with me on. Like I said, there's very few steps. So what you have in front of you here is pretty much all you need. You need a 5-gallon bucket, 5 gallons or larger, but not smaller. 4 gallons, 3 gallons, no. 5 gallons is what you need. Now, you're going to want to fill this half with soil. I have soil over here in this red bag. So what I'm advising everyone to do is to have 2 of these 5-gallon buckets. 2. This happens to be food grade. I turned this so that you can see it. There's been this ongoing controversy for years about non-food grade buckets. I'm not going to go into this again. For those of you who've been with me for over the years, this is my 10th anniversary. I've explained this time and time again. So the short answer is yes, this plastic will deteriorate. And the other half of the answer is it's going to take between 400 and 600 years. So I don't care. Am I telling you to use other plastics, the blue ones from Lowe's, the orange ones from Home Depot? It's up to you. I just happen to have this on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. The first thing you want to do is put in drainage holes. I have not put drainage holes in this because I have not been able to get out here and set up properly the way that I want to get things set up. So I will add the holes later. Very important that you have a 5-gallon or bigger bucket. Very important that you have drainage holes. If you don't have drainage holes, you are more than likely going to end up with root rot, and you pretty much wasted your time. So those are the first 2 things. The second thing you're going to need is either peat moss, or this is coconut coir. It's pronounced different ways. This is what it looks like. I haven't taken it out. For shipping purposes, they have made these into bricks. And yes, you guessed it, this comes from coconut. There is a major controversy that's been going on for years about whether to use peat moss or not because of the way it's harvested. Peat moss, the majority of the peat moss that we use comes from Canada, and they have to tear up a lot of the forest to get to it. A lot of people aren't happy with this. This happens to be a small bag. I used to buy these in like the larger containers. I'm kind of moving away from that to this cocoa coir. And the reason is because this will last me longer. The purpose of these 2 is to retain moisture and to keep your soil from becoming impacted The reason why this perlite is out here is because sometimes people get confused. I've seen videos, I've read where people want to use this to keep the soil from becoming compacted. It will, but this is totally different. This has its place. I have clay soil. So there are places I can use this. This is not one of them. This is basically going to just let the rain or whatever when you water your plant, it's just going to pass right through it. It has really no nutritional value, and this is not going to give you what this is going to give you or what this is going to give you, because these two are going to hold on to the moisture, which is what you want. And it's going to keep your moisture. It's going to keep your soil from becoming hard and compacted, which is going to be very important when you're planting in this bucket. Now, another thing that is the most important out of all the things that I'm going to tell you guys today, this is the most important, 100% without a doubt. And that is the type of seed that you use. Tomatoes, there are literally thousands of varieties of tomatoes. In fact, I'm going to do some of them throughout the summer from different countries. But in this case, there are two different types. That is determinate and indeterminate. You cannot do what I am about to show you guys what to do with determinate tomatoes. They have to be indeterminate. Now the difference is huge. Determinate tomatoes will grow in a bunch, in a bush, and they'll all come up at once. You'll get all your tomatoes in about 3 months roughly, and that's it. Done deal. Over. Done. Out. This is way different. Indeterminate. I started getting potatoes around late June, early July, I believe it was. And this plant can last up to 7 or 8 months. Excuse me. This indeterminate is a vine. And you're going to get roughly about 20 pounds of tomatoes out of this. You might get more, you might get a little bit less. It depends on what type you use and how you plant it and what you're using for nutrients. Here's all the instructions and everything that's on the back. And the first thing it says is indeterminate variety. Again, I'm saying this like over and over again, because if you plant determinates, you're going to be disappointed. You'll still get tomatoes, but you're not going to get really what you look for. The average American eats about 30 pounds of tomatoes a year. So looks like the rain has stopped for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put I'm going to fill this halfway. Then I'm going to transfer it. Now, it is important. The calculations, the mix is also important. Everything, you're going to hear me say important over and over. This is all important. But like I said, it's not complicated. It's not a lot, because here it is. You ready? You're going to use half a bucket of soil. You're going to use 25% of either or, not both, the peat moss or the coconut coir. And you're going to use 25% of compost. So that's going to be 25% compost, 25% peat moss or the coconut coir, which is going to take you halfway. And the rest of the bucket is going to be filled with soil. Now, if you're trying to save a couple of pennies and you want to use the soil you have, at the end of this video, I'm going to tack on the video that was made for me by the Frugal Daughter a couple of weeks ago when she was here. It's video only. It's meant to give you a guideline so that you have an idea of how you can test your soil. These kits were given to me, and I'll put the link underneath this video. It's super simple, and it doesn't take that long. This is what happened to me. We tested the soil over here, and it was horrible. This is where you see I used the broad fork, and this is just not, it wasn't happening. There's no point in me continuing on with this because this soil has almost zero nutritional value, zero nutrients, I should say. So that's another story for another video on another day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to half fill this bucket, and I'm going to use, I guess I'll use this over here to dissolve one of these bricks, and I'll show you how this comes together. Okay, so I've added the second brick. I just left that sitting there so that you can get an idea of what it looks like. You can see how this is dissolving here, and this is going to be kind of a semi-form, semi-liquid, and I'll play with it along the way. Had I not been in a rush because of the weather, I would have measured this, but it's okay because I can always use this peat moss, and I'm thinking about mixing it up anyway. Don't forget, the goal is to have 2 5-gallon buckets, 2. The reason is because you want to stagger. I'm real big on staggering. In other words, what you want to do is plant your seeds. It's going to take about 5 to 10 days for your seeds to germinate. Plant your seeds and wait about 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then plant your other seeds, because you want to duplicate this process. This way, when you start harvesting your tomatoes off of the first bucket, then you'll have tomatoes coming off the second bucket. So in the event, I mean, think of all the things that you can do with tomatoes. And a lot of times, in my family anyway, they use them a lot in salads and in sandwiches. So basically, if you run out of tomatoes on the first one, because keep in mind, you're going to be getting tomatoes. You're going to be getting tomatoes all summer. While you're waiting for the other tomatoes to ripen, you can go to the second container and start harvesting from there, and then just basically go back and forth and back and forth. I may not need this other brick because this is starting to firm up. So real quick, this perlite that we're not going to use today, this is basically volcanic ash. It's light, it's fluffy, and like I said before, this is something we're going to go into in another video. But yeah, so I'll put the second brick in, and I'm thinking about taking this out because this is going to work just fine. The other thing is the compost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into this container here, and that will free this up, and I'll use this to measure the compost and the coconut core. So once that's done, you basically just mix everything together and you're done. Now, once that's going, in other words, once everything is planted, once everything starts growing, the one thing you will need to do is you want to add some nutrients. So this basically tells you this will feed your plants for 3 months. I would say every couple of weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks, I would just dress this with around the sides of the top. You don't have to dig into the soil or do anything fancy. And I would just add this so that you would continue to get your nutrients that you need so that you can continue to get your tomatoes. Now, another thing I want to say is you can do this with other things besides tomatoes. And I'd like to hear from you guys because this can be a thing of where we can save a boatload of money if we do this with other, I was going to say fruits, but I don't want to get into that. But I can make this into a mini series and do vegetables where we can do something similar. The makeup, the composition of the soil and everything else is going to be a little bit different, but I can do a couple more videos on this if you're interested, using other fruits. So let me get this squared away here and show you what it looks like. So I transferred the coconut core from here into here so I can get a measurement. So this is about 25%, and it's looking good. So I'm going to add another 25% of this compost here. And that's going to give me half a bucket. I'll take it over here, add it to what I already transferred, which was the half a bucket that I measured earlier, and I'm going to combine it. Okay, so you get the idea. I basically combined the cocoa core and the soil and the compost. So those are the three elements. Like I said, super simple. And I mix those all up together. That's all going to go into this container. I'm only doing one today. So basically just double everything. So you have 2 containers. And basically once everything is in here and the weather's warm enough, the weather's been crazy here. So what I would probably end up doing is covering this with the burlap, or finding something to cover this with if I do decide to plant the seeds. After all, it is May. And I used that old bedspread one day when I found out the temperature was going to go down and we were going to have frost warnings. So whatever you have is fine. So I'm going to fill this up. And don't forget, the Frugal Daughters video is at the very end of this video, and it's going to show you how you test the soil and save yourself a couple dollars. You might not have to buy the soil. And don't forget, like I said, you're going to add the nutrients every couple of weeks. So let me just put this together and show you the finished product. Well, that is close to perfect. I got pretty much, my measurements turned out to be pretty good. And it's just in time because I'm starting to feel a drizzle again. So now you plant your seeds. Instructions are on the back. You know the drill. And here is my nutrients, my plant food that I'm going to add to this. So the beauty of this is that because it's in a bucket, in a container, you can move this to where you need to move it, wherever the sun is going to be. That's the reason why I like using these, just to give you a quick look at what's happening with my beans. Like I said, we had all this rain last night, and the beans are sprouting. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 right there, and there's one coming up over here. So things are looking good. This looks like a bit of a mess right now, and it's because I have been working. So my next video, I am probably going to show you the new addition that came yesterday and get these all lined up, get this kind of straightened out, get this mess taken care of, and show you what I have going on. So thank you again for joining me. Like I said, the Frugal Daughters video is coming up. It's pretty short, and it's going to show you how you can test your water. It is video only, so check it out, and I'll catch you guys on the next video in a few days. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from, especially now with the prices the way they are. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.